Hey, what's going on, everybody? I finally finished my one-to-one scale replica Yoda, standing right behind me here. He was about a year on the shelf before I started working on him, and I was finally able to complete him. What I'm going to take you through now with various picture documentation I did over the time and some video file is break down what I did so that if you want to do one for yourself, you can kind of see the step-by-step process. So enjoy the video, and hope you stop back later some other time to look at some of my other props and crap that I'm doing. If you're an Evil Dead fan, make sure you're following us in the group, the KOS, the Knights of Samaria, fans of Ash, J. Williams versus the Evil Dead. We also have a website, thenightsofsamaria.com, which is still in developmental stage, but it is already up. And we'll be doing a lot more stuff with action figures. We'll be doing a lot more stuff with dioramas. We'll be doing a lot more stuff with Star Wars. And I'm losing my mind with COVID, so I've just started building everything. So hopefully we'll have some more videos for you guys showing figures, builds, Masters of the Universe, Ninja Turtles, of course, Star Wars, Harry Potter, just a little bit of everything that I enjoy, we're going to do. So let's take a look at how we did Yoda.
Behold, my stuff.
Start with the raw casts. Always try to buy from the sculptor if you can to avoid recasting. Unfortunately, I was led astray and I ended up acquiring recasts. I did, however, find who the original sculptor was and informed them of the seller. That person is no longer selling these casts. Once you have the cast, you have to determine what colors you're going to use to paint. I start with the base layer close to what I want. I then start adding highlights and shadows with dry brushing. With Yoda's head, you don't want to use washes because the puppet had lightness in all of his creases, so the wash would get in the crease and ruin that effect. So for the head, just use built-up layers of dry brushing. For the hands and feet, however, you do want to go ahead and dry brush and wash because they are dirtier, they get more grit on them, and you want to blend that a little bit more. The hands and feet didn't exactly match Yoda's head in terms of coloring, and so that worked out a little better for me. Next, you want to go on to build the skeleton. I use PVC pipe, and I use different joints, 90 degree, 45 degree, and three-way joints to build the appropriate size. I eyeballed the proportions based on what I thought was correct, based on my head proportion and the proportions of the actual puppet, and the episode 2 and 3 digital model. I did put a three-way connector at the neck. I actually swapped that out for a four-way connector because obviously I needed a piece of PVC pipe to hold the head on. Once I got the shape down, I started padding it with basic pipe insulation. That was a good start, but you're going to want to have to add pipe around the midsection. I just ended up wrapping a series of 10 millimeter foam till I got it the way I wanted it. I also ended up shortening the forearms with PVC cutters because I didn't account for how much wrist he had, so I wanted to shorten that up a little bit. Once I had everything set up the way I wanted, I went into the clothing. The first thing I did was make the felt pattern. I literally just started draping fabric strips over the PVC pipe until I kind of had the rough shape I was looking for, and then I used hem tape to put the sections together. There's actually no connection under the armpits. They're only connected at the top of the shoulders, and since it was an under tunic, I didn't really focus too heavily on making it pristine. I used a small piece of 2 millimeter foam in the collar to give it that effect. Once I had that done, I cut a pattern out of some linen, folded in half, and then hem taped the underside of the arm and down the side of the body. Those were the only two seams I needed, and I was able to use hem tape to achieve that. Then I turned the thing inside out, and that is how you get the robe you see today. I cut the basic shape of the neck and the center line, then I put it on the mount, and we were ready to rock and roll. The last step was weathering and adding hair, and as you can see, this is what we got. Now, as you look at the different weathering and the different tears, you're going to want to pick your favorite scene out of whatever reference material you're using. I was using Empire, and I tried to simulate that as best I could, even though my coloring most closely matches the prequel's coloring. The eyes were the trickiest thing. I actually ended up cutting out the eyes in the resin, and I put in some glass ones from a doll that my friend turned me onto, and I really liked that choice. The eyes are green, and they're also brown, depending on which Yoda you're looking at, so I chose one that had a little green and brown in it. Overall, I'm really happy with it. The cane painted up nicely after a nice sealing of PVA glue, a black base coat, and then some browns. And I cut that down to be a little shorter so the arms could sit lower. And now you have a Yoda. So thank you very much, and hopefully this was entertaining for you. And keep building, guys. And next time around, I'll show you some more of my epic stuff.